of the Immortals. We've got people like Gunther, got Ipkai, we've got loads of community legends in chat ready to rock and all roll. And shall we get the games on? Shall we start? We've got a lot to cast today, so we probably better get it on. And here we are. This is game one. We're looking at Havok's United States Forces versus F3riG as the Wehrmacht. And there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. No, there won't, because this is indeed Tunisia. Right then. That's one thing Band-Aid never really got through their minds when they were writing the incredibly of their time lyrics to that song. And here we go. We do, by the way, have something very interesting for the United States Forces. The players have gentlemen's agreemented armoured out of the equation. We will not be seeing armour today for the USF. Very interesting. So not only is it Battle Group Terminator, and the players can only play a battle group once in this best of 5, you won't be seeing armoured, which is, quite frankly, ridiculously overpowered, for either of the 1v1 players today. But we will be seeing the Jeep. Let me get my follow scripts on. There we go. We will be seeing the Jeep. Oh, it's Michael Bay himself is on board. And Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music is playing. He is, however, up against the coastal reserves of F3riG, which is very topical because, of course, it is Tunisia. Right, Ketzenkrad is now a little bit scared. The gentleman's agreemented armoured out of the equation, but that didn't stop the Jeep, the Ketzenkrad Hunter, being operational. Oh, some big shots went in through the frontal armour there. He's going to have to get out of there and go for those sneaky Jeep repairs. Probably going to do it within this capping circle, I would say. That'd be a good decision. And let's just talk about the Coastals. They're pretty much Grenadiers, but they have like a weird Italian anti-tank grenade instead of a Faust, and they're a little bit better in cover, and they can build cover. I don't like the design that much. I think they need to be a little bit more like kind of Ostrupen, like basically can't fight unless they're in cover, and they're really kind of received accuracy a bit higher. Something a bit more interesting, because I've seen the weapons profiles. They're pretty much Grenadiers in a lot of ways. So yeah, Coastals. A lot of the designs in the new battle groups were interesting, but I'm not so sure about the old Coastals, and the cost of them is rather low. There you go, the coastal reserves in all their glory. You can see there the 240 manpower, which is means you can flood them onto the field because they're a call-in. They have no building time. Talking of which, there's something that has near enough no building time with armor is the Jeep, but in this case he had to build it the old-fashioned way with a time increment greater than 7 seconds. Right, let's talk about the map as it's developing. The rifles are pouring in, most likely going to go for this position here. We have had some sandbags and barbed wire down, but there we go. He's seen it now, Havok. He's seen in the fog of war that this is unguarded. He's unveiled the fog of war, and meaning he can just go for it. He's got heavy cover for himself now. The coastal is only one of them. Where's the MG at from F3riG? I'm really surprised we've not seen this. Now they're going to be up against the riflemen, who have a really decent near-distance damage. Probably one of the best near-distance damage units in the game that isn't wielding a fully automatic. That could be an early squad wipe. He's very lucky there. He's focusing this guy instead. And we've got another one retreating. The MG is delayed, but you will notice the toes over the line and the cutoff is being prevented. Meanwhile, Pioneers have snuck up. The Ketzenkrad has snuck up, and it's actually F3riG that's getting the better of this situation. Here comes the machine and gun there. That's going to lay down fire. There is heavy cover here, so they're going to get suppressed seemingly, possibly because this guy was out of cover. I don't know. And yeah, there'll be a crowd suppression there. And the Ketten's going to stop the cap. Didn't stop it being neutralized, but will stop the cap, meaning, well, you've still got to wait for it to go to 0, but I think it possibly goes to 0 a little bit faster. Tightrope in chat. It's always good when tightropes in chat, or anybody that actually understands the statistics behind the game. I wonder if the decapture spin is as fast as the capture rate. Do you know what I mean? When it goes down to 0 and you have to wait, is that about as fast as the capture rate? I think the game would be better if the decapture spin, when you're waiting it to go to neutral, if it didn't get fully captured. I wish that was like kind of fast. Would make a lot more sense to me on it. Hands up if you understand what I'm on about. I'm not sure I understand what I'm on about. I won't make the usual excuses of, oh, I drank last night, I'm old, my brain's fuzzy. I just sometimes don't talk too much sense. Pioneers. Oh, dead. I definitely made sense there, didn't I? It's not good for CoHRG this start. I know he was able to do some things like keep this cut off from happening, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that capping order. I'm not sure about 3 coastals into MG. I would have wanted on this map the MG a little bit earlier, in my opinion. Again, he's kept this cut off going, and he's just recaptured the fuel, which had been decaptured by the Jeep there.
Commandant, territory sector lost.
Right then, they're doing the washing as we speak, and they've also got the fire on in the infantry company. That should keep them going. So, there we go. We've got the Greyhound already. And did you hear that noise? That means he's designated this as the defensive line. And as always, in World War II scenarios, everybody knows, historically speaking, whenever you designated a defensive line, it made a sword being unveiled noise from an old game from like 1980s, 90s. Like, makes complete sense. It's historically authentic, of course. Reminds me of how the pings used to sound. I don't know if you remember, but the pings were originally pretty horrific in how they sounded. But hopefully they're able to change that sound effect. Probably one of the stock ones you get in the engine. Like the Unreal Engine or whatever it is.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
They always say it's their own bespoke engine, but I always feel a little bit dubious. Yes, that's right, Koptov in chat. It sounds like a nautical sound, like a radar. That's more like it. I thought it sounded like a retro game sword, but that's more like it. I would go with that, yeah. Like you're playing some U-boat simulator on an early PC from the early 90s. Yeah, we'll go with that. Greyhounds having a good effect on target so far. To be honest, I think Havok's been all over CoHRG so far. I'm not so sure he's got... Ah, there's the Panzerbuska. That'll keep the Greyhound honest. Yep, good shot in there. Scouts weren't able to neutralise the fuel. We've got defensive lines still. And here come the Jaegers. Get those Shreks on the go. Ooh, Greyhound has to be so careful. Panzerbuska's one shot away from defeating the M8. He's going to be able to retire back to base, lick his wounds, and the engineers... Sorry, that's Pioneers rebuilding there. We do have engineers building as well, though, at the same time. The engineers will have to come out and repair them.
Pioneers are reporting for duty.
Do you guys try and get your engineers out a little bit earlier in CoH3 these days? I think a lot of people are doing. Starting to see engineers, to be honest, sometimes before all the rifles and captains are out and stuff. Do notice he's only gone for 3 rifles in this game and 2 scout squads just for capping power. It is a nice big open map, and sometimes you get 2 scouts that can help your capping potential. There's the Shrek and there's the Jeep jump scare, and yeah, not the best ending for him. Kind of looked like he ended up in the tree for a second there. I don't know why the Jeep went that way. That's why I was caught off guard by it. I was trying to make a point about how big the map was, and then all of a sudden the Jeep's dead. Captain's not had a very good first foray into combat. This could be the signs that CoHRG is beginning to push his way back onto the map. We all know about coastal reserves. You get your officer after your Jaegers, you start pushing back out, and eventually you're able to get those super cheap mines. And you keep spamming the designated defensive line, and you just start to solidify your position a lot better. just going to close the window so it stops messing around with the doors in my house with the wind. It's quite a windy week here in the UK. We've had a Storm Millie or something. Hang on.
We have advanced weaponry ready to be deployed.
Need the outside world when we're playing Company Heroes. Look at this F3riG. He's really starting to grow into the game. He's a grower, not a shower. No Electrobolt, it's the opposite. Once they've used a battle group, they can't use it again. It's a battle group Terminator, which of course stems from probably one of the best concepts I've personally ever had in my life. Cruise shock there into CoHsTLE. Get another one off, and they hit this clump of sand instead. It's easy to mistake this clump of sand for a Greyhound. And, yep, they've stopped being on fire now. That's always advantageous. No, it stems from Commander Terminator, which was the second ever Master League official tournament back in early 2020. Okie dokie. We're going, of course, for the Flak Panzer. Mine detonates there. Rifles hurting. And they're pinned now, thanks to this MG, which is a really good position for the MG. I like putting it behind that particular corner. You can, as you say, pivot it and stop things getting to there, but you do have to occupy the Casbah. We've had bars pop on the rifles. Unfortunately, they didn't pop in the heat of combat there. And we've upgraded the Kettenkrad to sneaky mode. For lack of a better word. Right, Verbally Vindy is making things very difficult for Havok, and he's currently going mortar. Not too sure about that. By the way, he chose Spec Ops, which is very interesting from Havok. We'll see how far he's gotten on there. He's gone for the Weasel, Pack Howitzer, and the SSF Commandos. Panzerbuska, Shrek, Coastals, Verbally Vindy, all pushing in, and the Pioneers taking the cut off. This is a big assault. Meanwhile, the Kettenkrad is capping up the back lines. Oh dear, this isn't going to go well. He's getting an M1AT gun, and it looks like we've got the mortar from the captain down on the cutoff, but that's not going to stop these plucky Italians. M1AT gun is in the right position at the right time to kind of keep this alive for Havok. Kettenkrad's up to Vet 2 now. Those mines have been a bit painful for Havok at times. Let's check this out as the Greyhound's going to go south to try and deal with him. Look at the speed on the road there. And here comes the gruesome twosome. Verbally, Panzerbuska, Shrek, but the Jaeger squad is getting bored to death. And there's the grenade techs on the MG, but the damage on retreat penalty kicks in. And of course, I think the weapon still counts as a model, which kind of reduces the damage on MGs in total. Hopefully they fix that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't. A lot of the times they fix stuff you didn't know was a problem, and they don't fix the things you think are a problem. But there's that many problems. But I will say that I wouldn't be casting Co3 unless I genuinely enjoyed it. And I actually am enjoying playing Co3 again, which is weird. I get my arse kicked at the moment, but I'm actually enjoying even losing. I can tell you that is a Wehrmacht mine because it's sinister and square. Watch them sprint at the coastals. I was going to suggest they're going to run into the mine, but apparently not.
Enemy movement near victory point.
Okay, Gradley, more sinister square mines there. Greyhound. Oh, what a shot that is from afar. CoHstles was surprisingly rugged during all of that. They're up to 7-man squads now. Panzerbuska keeping the Greyhound honest, but that health increase thanks to the side skirts is really paying dividends. And that is a friendly US mine, circular and cute. That's how it works, guys. Right, what's going on in the centre? The M1, the barbed rifles are being encircled. The Shrek Jaegers have pushed really far up there, getting into the house, jumping out, getting vision. F3riG's going to get a shot off. Meanwhile, mine detonates there. That was a really deep mine. Is that right? I think it is, you know. I think he did hit a mine. That's so strange. Oh, there it is. Is that... It is indeed. The Circle of Doom from the Wizard. If you're in my Twitch chat, AECO Wizard is the emote you want to use. You don't have to sub. You can use the points for having watched any of this footage to unlock it yourself. Well, 7 clones. You don't really want to zoom in. It's not like Co-1 where everybody had their own behaviour. In Co-3, everybody is a clone of one another. That's why the Brit squad looks so good, the infantry with the corporal. But I can't say the same for some of the other infantry squads in this game. There we go, Space Cowboy, thank you, sir. Took me a good 40 minutes in Photoshop, that did, because I'm not particularly good in Photoshop.
Territory point is no longer under our control.
Very,
Yet fire it.
What is this? What's that shadow there? Can you see that? Something's flying. There it is. Just flew off the map. I'll never know what it was, but let's focus on the game. I'll try to. I always get distracted by shadows. There it is, the Circle of Doom. But he's sprinting out of it. Nice work, and he gets the grenade off into the house, most likely. Does he have the munitions? No, he doesn't. That's the problem. And he gets suppressed for his troubles. Stop getting distracted by UFOs. Map is a very good game one that the patrons are paying for here. Chaffee hasn't had much work yet, possibly waiting for something to overextend. Well, F3riG isn't the overextending type. He's a very methodical player, and that doesn't read boring. He's far from boring, but he does tend to work in installments. He'll build himself into a game and grow into it slowly, and then just begin to overwhelm his opponent with attritional warfare. But more methodical than boring, I would certainly say. Watch him beat players such as Orangepest using that style before. So he can certainly go toe-to-toe with the best. And that's what he's competing for today. He wants to dispatch Havok and then work his way up. Martin detonates on the Jaegers there. Chaffee's going to push up. Coastals are daisy-chaining mines. But look at the subtle pressure, using all the heavy cover he can muster. He's just pushing up slowly but surely, getting into this this game. How are you guys feeling in chat? Are you expecting a F3riG win? He is the favourite, you would say, looking at it. And nothing in this game indicates that Havok is going to upset those odds at this point in time. Anybody expecting a Havok comeback? You think he's got what it takes? Let me know in the comments.
Yes! My red two are taking losses here! Panzer! Displace find cover!
A fuel point is being lost.
Nah. Okay, Big Rasp. So that's basically that. Nah. 3 letters that spell doom for Havok is just look at this play. So difficult to beat the Axis when they've got these light capping units on road to Tunis. You really need to do something. AKA, you know, get your Chaffee and go and kill it. But it's easier said than done. You kind of have to cut it off as it retreats away. Oh, we can't even penetrate the frontal armour of that Panzer IV hull there. Yep, got to clear out there. Oh, God. That was a stray shell, that was. I don't know how that hit him. And now he's got to retreat through it. Oh dear. Jaegers, by the way, getting some shots in on the Greyhound. And Havok is really, really suffering. He's basically here and not many more places than that. He has been able to push to try and get his +10 fuel and a victory point. But in terms of victory points, he's down to 112. You'll notice that Relic have bought the victory points. I could probably fix that, to be honest. I might try and do that after this game. Have a victory point fixer. I could do that with OBS. Panzerbuska forces away the Chaffee. We've had a scout squad go down here. thanks to the Coastals, now Vet 3 and Vet 2. And the Wizard is just constantly being a nuisance everywhere. Jaegers, likewise, using all the heavy cover they can muster. And this is possibly why Orangepest considers F3riG the only player that has the actual kind of understanding of the tactical nuance needed to be a top-level Co3 player. Speaking to Orangepest during the casts a couple of weeks ago, he concurred with my basic understanding. That is currently the case. So Havok's got to do a little bit of a Von Ivan kind of style. If he's going to get beaten tactically in gun battles, he has to think outside the box. He has to do something cheesy, spammy, and surprising in order to kind of overcome the innate advantage F3riG possesses. If that makes any sense for you guys in chat. Usually when you're being outplayed in a traditional sense, you need to think outside the box, and Company Heroes does afford you that. Panzer IV on its way. Let's just seal the deal for F3riG. It's gotten Havok down to 105 victory points. Mortar doing some damage there, and there's that verbal Vin. Where's the Panzer IV? That's struggling to get out of base presently. How's the fuel for Havok looking? Is it 74? He's getting Tank Depot down in base using... Oh dear, the... Mind you, that's not bad actually. I like that. I like the base building. It's good. First couple of buildings you want... If you're a new player, first couple of buildings you want to build at the edge of your base. It actually gives you protection from your enemy, and it allows you to reinforce closer to your own cutoff. But then you might as well auto-build the other two, because it's just a time-saving and efficiency-saving. You're not going to really do much more with it in terms of SimCity. Panzer IV pushes in. Shafi is outgunned there. Hello, HT. Try not to tag me when I'm casting, if you can. Shafi's pushing in. That's ill-advised when there's a Shrek, a Panzer IV, and a Verbal Vind. Who's going to get the kill? It was the Verbal Vind! Yay! Verbal Vind! Everyone loves Verbal Vinds, right? Sure, we all do. Right then. Oh, Rifles just went down. Coastals picked up the ball. This game's over. I'm kind of a little bit like thinking about game 2, thinking what Havok has to do differently. It's going to be difficult. We've got to have a Hellcat, but it's a little bit too late at this point. Or the... Oh, we've got 2 Jaeger squads total. The Panzer IV's got decent health. He's designated defensive line without really worrying about it there. I wonder how much it costs. 60 munitions. Interesting. For the Fatherland and Co. 1 was equally annoying to play against, but I think For the Fatherland had better sound effects and better kind of art assets involved. Hopefully they, as I say, as earlier in the cast, they do a pass on that. And 1. Vet 2 now. It's kind of keeping him just about in this thing. Captain's mortar is going to come down on the MG and the Coastal there. Vet 3 Coastal 7-man squad is going to keep that victory point, but not this one in the south, which will go back to Havok, who's now on 74 points and dropping. Vet 2 Jaeger's force off. The officer's not been doing very much at the moment. I think F3riG is kind of not letting Havok back into the game by any stretch of the imagination, but he could do more to finish it off here. He's being a little bit lazy there. But, you know, why try harder when just trying moderately hard is already kind of finishing the game off? Hope this doesn't mean bad things for Havok in the rest of this series. But it does mean we could, you know, if we get a resounding victory over one of the top-ranking auto-match players in Havok, if F3riG were to get like a 3-0 victory, it will hype up CoHstleMania versus Orangepest in January quite a bit. Make F3riG look like more of a monster, which is good. We want the CoHstleMania main event to be a classic, don't we? This CoHMas Clash, we also want that to be a bloody good series. So let's hope Game 1 is just Havok having a bad start. Well, actually, he had a good start. To be fair, he was all over F3riG for a little while, but just F3riG is so bloody competent. You can't really stop him and overwhelm him when he's doing so many things well. And there we go, standoff. The mortar of the United States there is kind of keeping the Coastals from keeping the point in their favour, going down to 38 points. Havok's doing what I like to see, though. He's fighting to the bitter end. He's not just GG and getting on to Game 2. Rifles could go down. Oh, that was a big shot from the Panzerfall, and they're dead. There we go. That is definitely GG. Oh, whiz-bang for the lols. Getting a squad wipe there. Well, Panzerfall hiding behind the Casbah. Yeah, the Hellcat's got to go around the back here. Captain's dead. GG, well played. There we go. It's game over. What I'm going to do before we go on to Game 2 is I'm going to invent a new technology that we've never seen before. Hang on a second. Copy. Paste reference. Paste reference. Zoom. Alright, let me just invent this new technology. Hang on a second. I should have... It's the kind of thing I always think about when I'm casting and then I forget to implement after I've finished. So let me just bear with me a second, if you can. Why is it doing that thing? Okay, I can do this. This is a Unix system. I know this. Alright. No, not you, you bastard. Right, which one's this now? It's that one. Okay. It does that. I don't know why OBS does it this way, but it's really bloody annoying, to be honest. It kind of keeps the original aspect ratio and makes messing with it really difficult. So what we're going to do is my new technology is to put that there, but then you're going to see the magic in a second. Hang on a second. So we're going to put that there, happy days, make it the same size as it was before. Something like that. Happy days. And then we've got another one to do, which is going to be really cringeworthy, but at least we've practiced now. Hang on. Whee! Again, I don't know how to stop it. Sometimes OBS doesn't do that, and sometimes it does. Like, it keeps the size, it keeps growing the thing as you're changing it. Don't fully understand, but whatever. Oh, that was quick. Alright. Make that much smaller now. Happy days. I pull it in. Oh, I've just done the wrong one, haven't I? We're doing blue matte. Okie dokie. This is worth it, guys. This is worth it. Trust me. This is the technology we want to be inventing. Until they fix replays. Okay. I want it to be kind of... Oh. That looks okay. But then the annoying thing is that they're the wrong colours. So what you want to do then is do a filter. Filters. Colour correction. Hue shift. Not all of it, you donkey. Oh, you can't just do it for individual things, unfortunately. Oh no, that was my genius ploy. Hang on. So what I need is display capture. A new one. Yeah. Okay, this is getting complicated now, but you see what I want to do, guys. You see what I want to do. I want to really want to Sigazate. Hang on a sec. Don't display capture, that's retarded. So I can swap the victory points around, that's good, but I can't swap their colour right now, sadly, because otherwise it'll break everything. Copy. Add. 4. Specific window. Okay. This might actually work now. Here we go. Properties. Well, when I said this might really work now and it completely stopped working immediately, that's not a good sign. Okay, well, there we go. We can swap the victory points a bit if we need to. That's to be celebrated. But we can't change their colour, sadly. But yeah, there we go. Let's get to game 2, shall we? Stop. Stop, people. Okay, it's fine. Close that. The technology is astounding, I believe, so yeah. Let's go over to game 2, shall we? F3riG they swapped... Oh no, they didn't swap map. Okay, fair enough, good. I was going to say. Let's get this baby loaded up. Right, we've got F3riG on the left. He's 1-0 up. Happy days, there we go. Casting Co3. And you may see that the stats are the wrong way around now, but I have the solution for that. There we go. I can fix it quite quickly. And are the victory points the right... Well, we don't know if the victory points are the right... I'm pretty sure they will be, but I have no way of knowing. Right then. 3, 2, 1. Activate. And he's already picked Airborne as F3riG. He's going to be up against Havok, it's his turn to play Italian Coastals. We're not going to be seeing any other commander on Road to Tunis for Wehrmacht other than Italian Coastal Battle Group. But the next map we will have to see something else because Battle Group Terminator will kick in. And let's just play as F3riG let's play as Havok for a little bit and get into his frame of mind right now. So this is from his perspective.
Infantry are in reserve. They await
This is what he
deployment.
sees.
Craft has comms cables. Location secure. Moving on.
I think. Is that how it works? Yeah, Havok, free camera off. There we go. He's finally moving again. Just want to get into his rhythm. See if he's up for the challenge against F3riG today. Well, just watch from his perspective as he sees the first movements of F3riG and reacts to them. Just looking on the peripheries of his vision there to see what he can see. Just pondering. Gone for 2 coastals so far. 150 manpower and counting. There we go, seen the rifles. Just giving them some harassing fire for now.
Infantry are in reserve. They await deployment.
Okay, 200 manpower and counting. I'm wondering what he's going to go for next. He himself saw that f3riG struggled without going the MG within the first 3 or 4 units built. He's doubling up his coast. Just pulling in more Italian infantry. Apparently that's what the top level players do. He's really just taking it to f3riG in the early going. He's pushing all over the map with his superior capping power. Notice on the minimap in the bottom left, the Kettenkrad's going to cap both +10 munitions on the east side. Actually, no, it's going to push further on. It just stopped capping munitions and just left it. Ah, he accidentally clicked it. Okay. That's not a good sign. Misclick there from the Kettenkrad. Oh, dear. And he's just trying to dice it with the devils that are these riflemen. He's in a delicate dance for DPS at the moment. It looks like he's about to lose his first squad, but he has another coming in. He's leaving it late, but he's outside of that envelope of fire now, and he's keeping the pressure on these rifles, getting some good attritional blows in so far. There you go. He's one out. These pioneers are going to take the Casbah. They are being harassed by engineers at the moment, and he's going to build his first piece of coastal wall on the cut. Ow. Flames pop from the engineers. That's going to help them. Yeah, he's getting the cut off as we speak. And let's get off Havok's camera angle now, because he's not really giving us a good view of things. Let's reveal everything and watch from our own perspective now. Look at that pushing from the Kettenkrad, keeping the engineer out, and they're actually being focus fired at the moment by the coastals, completely ignoring the rifles, and nearly get the squad wipe on the engineers with that 50 munition upgrade. Nice work so far by Havok. Seems he is up to the challenge in this game too. Very nice micro all in all. Seems to have woken up a little bit. Despite not being able to capture this +10 munitions on time, he's done well since there. An exact same build order as well as that f3riG went. So it's 3 coastals into MG. Shows how much AE doesn't know.
The enemy has taken a
Already gotten Vet 2 on the Kettenkrad somehow. Maybe the Vet requirements are busted. Must be. Must be absolutely busted. Scouts forced off. Riflemen's forced behind heavy cover. Coastals pushing up. A lot of sandbags building. We've got Luftwaffe company coming down. We've got infantry support centre coming out for f3riG. Just same old meta at the moment, but no armour is allowed for the United States forces. f3riG's going to rock the Casbah to get a better position with those riflemen. Captain's going to go north, it would seem. Good solid game so far. Not exactly too exciting at this point in time, but I'm sure we'll see more to come. No, Inca, they gentlemen's agreemented it. I think it was f3riG's suggestion, or maybe Havok's suggestion. They agreed not to play it. I think it's due to the deployments, the fast deployments, which, as we all know, is ridiculously overpowered, especially for jeeps, which are insta-build. It basically makes every unit for United States into a call-in unit, which is ridiculous. And the biggest thing I've always said about call-in units, it's not necessarily always the resource cost or the lack of teching. It's the deployment speed of instantaneous release onto the battlefield. And yeah, that's kind of made it so the entirety of the United States does that. So they will be readdressing that, no doubt, in February in the 1.5 patch. Yeah, exactly, HT, it's tempo. When you've got a pressure advantage. Oh god, MG's low here, rifles pushing in. Oh, the Coastals, can they get it? Who's going to pick it up? They do indeed get it. That's so lucky for Havok. Oh, they lose the MG again, but more Coastals going to push in. These bars have popped. The 221 comes to the rescue. Saving the day there. Just dropping from the sky above. It's the airborne. Nice paradrop roll there, and they are now combatants. You're allowed to shoot them now, guys. It's okay. But yeah, Havok's lucky to be in this one, to be honest. When those bars popped and the MG was decrewed twice, I thought he was done for certain, but he somehow won the race to pick the weapon back up. Somehow. Ooh, 221 harassing the rifles on retreat there. And, oh dear. Cooked grenade on the MG. He's going to lose it for certain this time, surely. 221 saves its bacon yet again, but bazookas are popping for the airborne. That's a surprise. There you go. Get out of there. Lovely stuff. Whoever the Relic employee that said, "Oh guys, we've got to follow the Geneva Convention because some countries might not let our game be sold there if we shoot paratroopers," they were wrong, and they're wrong, and they don't love computer games as much as they should do. They love being too risk-averse and making stupid decisions, in my opinion. I don't think the makers of Doom worried about stuff like that. And Doom Eternal, of course, sold like 1 million+ copies. You have to make adult entertainment for adults. That's fun to play and is risque. And of course, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the biggest selling entertainment media of all time. And that, you know, kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? That said, you can turn an infantryman into a fine liver pate that flies into the sky and falls on the ground as a rain of blood in Company of Heroes 3. So relic giveth, relic taketh awayeth. Just a bit inconsistent, let's say. Michael Bay fire explosions making me say nice work. It wasn't particularly amazing. It was just rifles getting retreated away. But my Neanderthal brain saw an explosion and thought it looked cool, basically. We do have the 2cm flak on the field. Not seen any action yet, but Love Nest is amongst the crew members. He's very passionate about that particular unit during the NDA processes that I'm not meant to refer to. Love Nest has been missing in action since in real life events of last year. And I haven't. I've somehow managed to convince my wife that playing Company Heroes 3 and casting games of it is a valid pursuit in life, which is interesting. So maybe I'm just better at flying. Bars pushing in. MG suppressing. But it's being burnt to a crisp for a moment there. Engineer does have to back up. And F3riG just putting pressure down even more. Verbal-Vin's now out, of course. It's the exact same build order against a different United States build order this time. There's a Wehrmacht mine. You can tell by the angry squareness of their plates. Captain needs to retreat. F3riG's got worse things to worry about, though, as the Verbal-Vin is making haste on all of these units. Will Havok push in and pursue? I think he will. He smells blood. We're getting a paradropped anti-tank gun, and I'm sure that Havok knows all too well what this plane noise means. Doesn't want to go too far in, or does he? More health damage. Oh, he gets an extra 2 kills. Not bad. Meanwhile, 221 versus this rifleman. Verbal could possibly have reversed over there, but he shouldn't have done because that's where the M1AT gun is. Meanwhile, the Kubelwagen's F3 for some reason. Don't know. Just capping up the south side. Not only am I married, I also have a little AE on the way. But I've kind of devised a new organisational format and casting structure that is the least effort required possible. I just have to find 2 players that'll play a series, and I pay them from my Patreon put funds. So yeah. My little AE will be on a DevM-like training regime from roughly the age of 3. Gonna get them just drag box selectioning at the age of 3. Reading the codex and co3stats.com by the age of 5. It's gonna be an interesting regime. They'll be practicing nades on retreat by the age of 7, and then I'll be one of those dads that was terrible at the pursuits that they forced their children into, but lives vicariously through them. Bazooka Airborne sprinting into combat. Verbalwind is being pushed away. Coastal Reserves watch on in amusement. Oh, he's actually just going to phosphorus suppress them. And the 2-2-1. Classic case of calling ambulance, but not for me there. Maybe Wehrmacht just OP on this map, it seems. Is there some logic to that? Yeah, Stuka loiter parenting sounds good. Running past a teacher and yelling in their face once every 30 seconds. Mid Jericho siren. Right then, Flame versus Flame. It's Barbecue Cook-Off 1942. Seems the Americans definitely won that cook-off. They're very good at that. I can't make a Vietnam reference. Jesus Christ, Matt. I just filtered a Vietnam reference, so just so you know, AE's filter does exist.
Pioneers are reporting for duty. Territory lost.
I have to say, stay somewhat politically correct, just so there's a veneer of esports casting potential still for me, even though those days are probably long gone. Easy nade dodge there. It was a cook grenade and he still dodged it with a giant flak gun. And no, he's gone Marder, a Marder, and then an extra Verbalwind as Havok. Interesting build on a no officer needed this game. He doesn't fancy it. Meanwhile, we've got a mortar from F3riG. The one scout, he's not lost a single unit yet. And I'm sure, there we go, we've got an extra pioneer for Havok. He's going to need one considering his first one's dead. Going to be an absolute nuisance for Wehrmacht. I kind of attribute the ability to apply so much pressure on the Kubelwagen. 3rd Legion, Best Legion, they had Crocodile Shermans in the previous 2 installments of the game, but not this one as of yet. Meanwhile, MG42 has gone down due to mortar fire and bars. And it's been taken. The Pioneer can't do much about it, but here we go. We've got a huge vehicle push on the M1AT gun. 221 doesn't want much more of it. The Flamer might take it down. The M1AT gun is being destroyed and decrewed. Okay, then. Those barred up Airborne are going to have to do a lot of work. The Captain Mortar is trying to offer some kind of deterrent. The phosphorus fire from the Verbalwinds, keeping the infantry counter away, and might actually kill the cat. I didn't even have time to finish my sentence. It's dead. Meanwhile, 7-man Coastals are pushing in to try and take the M1AT gun. Looks like they may be able to get away with it.
Received. Enemy is down to 200 points.
Yeah, we had Crocodile Churchills and Crocodile Shermans in the past. Yeah, the phosphorus bullets don't exactly scream balance, do they? That's not one of the words they scream when they hit the rifle. Sorry, hit the bazooka airborne. To everybody that's noticed that the AE logo was not centralized in its relevant overlay space in the bottom left there, I just want to apologize for that. I wasn't aware of it for the first 40 minutes of this Twitch stream, and I've only just noticed, and I've corrected it now, and all I can do is ask for your forgiveness on that. So, yeah. Sorry about that. That's why we're not esports. Looks like Havok's going to draw the series level, though. And all the... you've got to give him his credit there, although he does lose the Kubel. Kettenkrad. It's Kettenkrad, man. Kubelkrad. Not to be confused with Kettengrad, which is a city in Russia where they are addicted to ketamine. Thank you, Saz Music. Much appreciated. Airborne forced away. Verbal Vins didn't care. They're like honey badgers there. Really didn't. And we do have the Hellcat on its way from a factory built behind the headquarters there in a last-ditch effort to rescue this game. And it seems to me that Wehrmacht, this build order, this map is pretty difficult to beat unless maybe you've got the airborne fast deploy and you've got the Chaffies romping around. We are going to enter Twin Beaches as the next map. 1-1 in a best of 3. Let's see who can make it to CoHstleMania to fight Orangepest. January. Oh, MG's not going to make it to January, that's for certain. It's a nice pickup, to be honest, for F3riG there. He's got the Hellcat coming out as well. It's a lower health Verbal Vin, very low health now, but F3riG a little bit passive at times, doesn't want to push too far in. There is a Marder tank destroyer to worry about, which could sight its main gun at any time. You just don't know. Another Marder. Marder 2. 2 Marder 2. What is a Mab 38? Oh, the Beretta. This apparently. Apparently, the Germans liked this gun so much that they started producing it on another. That's the MP1. Interesting. Who knew the Italians made such cool weapons? By the way, I actually want to credit Relic and Marco Fiore for something, because I think he was kind of pivotal in making the Italian side of the DAC feel very Italian indeed. I actually don't think anybody's bothered about there being a... Well, some people surely are, but most people aren't bothered about there not being a standalone Italian army anymore. I think the battle groups for Wehrmacht and DAC have done a really good job of that. I think the Italians have been infused within the two German factions extremely well. There's a lot of Italians in Company Heroes 3, to the point where the standalone army idea isn't that much of a problem anymore. And that's kind of how it mostly works in the majority of the bigger battles in the Mediterranean anyway. The Italians were part of the German outfits and under the German command structure, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, you might the Babbitt of Rome, it's kind of in your name, but you must admit they've done a good job of incorporating the Italians within the Germans, the German factions. The one thing they could have done differently possibly is make the DAC not like the Deutsche Afrika Korps. They could have just been the Afrika Korps. That would have been a little bit better. I think it's been alright. And the new battle groups seem to be even more Italian infused, so I'm kind of liking the representation. It's satisfied my original issues with there not being an Italian standalone army there. Ooh, a lot of AT coming out. Tell you what, F3riG's not going away easily. He's got 160 victory points. A good anti-tank foray in the north. He's captured the victory point in the south and the centre. Designated defensive line on the cut-off there. He's got a med bunker set up as well as a fallback position has Havok. I tell you what, this game isn't actually looking likely to finish as soon as I thought it was. We should give it more respect and get ourselves back into the idea that this could go either way. CoHRG is the far more accomplished player, having won a Master League major tournament in the past. And so, yeah. The South 2-2-1's pushing up with coastal support, and Havok's fighting back, wants to finish off those victory points. There's the stolen machine gun. Oh, a lot of damage being done to said machine gun. He was able to keep all the victory points there. Mortars starting to airburst shell all of the units away, but they just go straight back to the healing bunker. Coastals have finished mining up the area, and the 2-2-1's there to cause the MG a hell of a lot of issues. Smoke from the mortar now as the scouts begin to cap the centre. They're not able to do the same in the south though, and the rifles can't push much further forward because there's a lot of mines in that area. Hellcat can force the 2-2-1 off. Yes. There we go. Rifles have completely circumnavigated the mines, knowing that there may be... Well, they don't quite know the area of it, but they know it's north of the victory point. There's actually 2 of them though, so they need to be extra careful. Just had the Panzer Company come down. Hellcat and elite infantry's pushed forward. Here comes the Panzer Army of Havok. Oh, going into bazooka fire, and there's a shot from the north there. Oh, that Verbal-Wind got taken out very easily. Triangulated from 3 threats. M1 was in a really cool position. Max ranged it there. Nice work. CoHRG's going nowhere. The defensive line has been designated, and it's... I don't know if you can tell, but it's here. Meanwhile, he's looking to build another bunker. Oh, F3 Coastals could die. Needs to be focus fired. Airborne could finish the job. Surely someone's got to kill Wilhelm. Oh my god, bombing run. Let's go. Big bombing run coming in. Oh my god, everything's getting out of there. Oh, except that coastal squad. And here comes the US infantry following up. CoHRG with a cook grenade on the flak, but isn't able to destroy it. That's unfortunate for him. Could decrew it with barred rifle support. There it goes. Bunker down. Here comes the Panzer Army. We're going to get a recrew now on the flak. Oh, but he's decrewed almost instantly. He pushes up with the M1AT gun. He pushes up with more barred rifles. And here comes the Hellcat. CoHRG wants to go for the 2-0 here. This is surprising. We thought he was down and out, and he's just built a bulldozer. Time to roll right over him. Marders trying to force off that Hellcat, but possibly not able to do so. M1 pushes up. Odd rifles are just not going away. Oh no. Right, we're going to have to use the artillery. That was painful. Didn't need that, did he? Missions-wise, we're 170 for CoHRG. He'll have another carpet bombing running at this rate. Look at this pressure from CoHRG. He's got this battle line going up against the Americans. And there's that bulldozer. Actually getting forced away quite a lot there by the double... They heard from the commander in the sky that for the next 20 seconds they are allowed to sight the main gun. That's an interesting strategy there for the Marders. Tactic. It's tactic. Okie dokie. Mortars being counter-mortared. Rather well. Good barrage there by the Americans. There's another one from the bulldozer. It was a very good push, wasn't it? I was very impressed by that. Marders are trying to battle back. Victory point situations, you know, he's still got double the victory points as Havok, but I'd say that CoHRG's definitely in the commanding position. And look at the population cap, 92 for CoHRG. And only 51 for Havok.
Tie them up.
Alright then. Look at this death ball coming back in. The M1AT gun's ready to play. All the veteran infantry is ready to have some fun as well. He's got an MG down the south just in case he wants to have a look down there. And yeah, he's got the bulldozers being repaired back in base. That can't support right now, but he's got enough to go at in terms of attacking his opponents.
Infantry within skirmish range.
Go into cinematic mode for a little while just to get more of it on screen. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to take in. Coastals are dying. Yep, there you go. Didn't need that. If we go back off cinematic mode now, you'll see just how little Havok has left in terms of infantry. He's still around 52 pop cap. The bulldozer should be ready to play now. Yes, indeed, he trundles down the central line. Oh, 3 victory point ticks going against Havok now. And in Co3, that is 1 victory point per second. Not 1 every 1.2 seconds that it was in Co2. And look at that. Lapping away. The Marauders just haven't been that effective at keeping these tanks off him. In the north, 2-2-1 still going. It's been alive all game. Bulldozer moonwalks his way to the position. Could actually kill the 2-2-1. Oh, so low on health. So lucky to escape. That M1's shown himself now. Sorry, the machine gun's shown himself in the south now. May want to change position or may just want to stay still. Shit, where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from all angles. That's the problem. Really good pushing from F3riG, the Hungarian. Hungary to finish this series off, it would seem. Going to go 2-0 up if he carries this on. Airborne pushing in, but the... Is that... Yep, there it is. Oh, Havok's rage quit before the bombs drop. Oh, he blue balls us there. We're not able to see it happen. No GG, just straight back to the lobby. And you can see on the graphs that F3riG got his way back into things after around the 16-minute mark and then never really fell back behind. If we see the paratroopers, they had an 8.25 efficiency factor. Very good squad with the bazookas, doing a lot of damage in that game. And he just lost too many of his coastals, didn't he? It says he only lost 1, sorry, but that was a... He did lose a lot of... He got his machine gun decrewed a lot of times. And if we just look on the overall overview, you can see that he had a negative KD as Wehrmacht there, which isn't good. So yeah, good turnaround there by F3riG. 2-0 up now in this series. So GG, well played to him. And yeah, Hungolia strong, Saj Music says. So yeah, well played. We're just going to carry on casting until this series is over. I know my casting today has been a little bit off the pace, but I did, yeah, watch the boxing till late last night. Anybody watch the boxing? Anybody like boxing? The Saudi Arabians are funding professional boxing to a ridiculous level, and like £500 million is going into boxing in the next, well, the last 2 months, the next 3 months, which is just ridiculous. So we're actually seeing all the fights we want to see, which is so cool. I wish Co3 could have a rich Saudi backer. That would be cool. For one, they'd buy Relic Entertainment. Like, first of all, buy Relic Entertainment. Yeah, that's the first port of call. And then fund a series of mega tournaments. I'd want 2 more factions as well with the newly bought Relic Entertainment. Yeah, we'd have... What factions would we have if we made it a 6-faction game? Because you've already got a lot of Germans and you've already got the Italians in it. I'd want the Japanese, I'm not going to lie. I'd want the Japanese. But why stop there? If you had billions of pounds invested, You don't have to have, like... You could just have the Panzer Elite ported from Co-1. Yeah. This is what I'd do. I'd have 5 factions for each side, right? I'd have the Panzer Elite, I'd have the Panzer Elite with Co-2 Wehrmacht units as well, and OKW. I'd make like an OKW Panzer Elite hybrid, like a late-game German faction. I'd have the Japanese as well. I'd have more battle groups that kind of make the Deutsche Afrika Korps even more Italian in flavour. So, like, yeah, you could have, like, the Italians kind of, like, represented. I'd have the Japanese. What about the Soviets? Because we're missing the Soviets. I'd have loads of battle groups from the British Empire, like the Canadians and the Australians. And I don't know if to do the US Marines as a separate faction. I'm not so sure. I think you could do the US Marines as battle groups for the US. So that means one allied faction missing. Yeah, I don't think we'd have... I think we'd have Marine Corps battle groups. 2 Marine Corps battle groups in total. And that leaves one... we've got the Soviets. We've already done British. We've got the US. France! The Free French Army. Yeah, I think you'd have to do France, actually. Yeah, you'd do France, to be honest. Because they've got the Charbis, the early war France. Just because their command structure was shit doesn't mean they didn't have a lot of stuff. You could do the French. That would be pretty cool. Would you do Vichy French or Free French, though? No, I'm pretty sure you'd have to do, like... a mixture of France and Poland, to be honest, as like the free armies or something. And you just do like a representation of like France, Poland, and the kind of beaten allied European factions kind of thing. You'd have the Hotchkiss, yeah, you'd have the Hotchkiss. That could work. I wouldn't call them dog shit, Saj Music. The Polish and the French, a lot of them battled very hard. They were just outnumbered and outgunned, and you know, what could they do? And like the myths of the French just all retreating and surrendering. You know, they did do that, but there were, for example, there were some French that fought very hard. They just got basically surrounded. So it's disrespectful to the war dead that fought. In the Battle of France and the Battle of Poland, to be honest. To just say they all surrendered. And stuff like that. You know, when you had like this ghost army of panzers moving behind you, and you're being asked to retreat to a better position, but you don't know what's happening because there were no radios. Everything was using paper messaging in France still. They were using paper messaging, like letters and stuff. They weren't using radios properly, or as much as they should have been. So there was this kind of like fear factor, but there were some very brave French soldiers and tank crews and commanders, and it was mostly like the younger guys. Like, well, famously Charles de Gaulle is a great example. Yeah, the Polish flew planes during the Battle of Britain, famously, but the Polish. The defensive line at Warsaw, I think there would have been a good battle for Warsaw, but then the Russians invaded from the east, so it was hopeless. But I think the Polish could have held out for a little bit longer. It took, was it 6 weeks or something, or 2 months of fighting in Poland, something like that. Then the Russians invaded from the other side, so what are you going to do? But a lot of Polish fought very hard. So you could have like a free... armies, if this Saudi billionaire funded Co3, you could have a free armies faction. And what I mean by that is like the defeated armies of Europe, like people still battling on. So you'd have the Free French, the Free Poles, maybe some other people I'm not aware of, something like that. Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of brave Frenchmen. I mean, for fuck's sake, the French... Like, look at them 40 years prior. And I just think it's, like, fundamentally racist to call people cowards as an ethnicity or cowards as a nationality. It's often the bad mistakes of leaders. Like, lions led by donkeys is a common expression. But it's commonly the case. I mean, humans are a tribal organism, like a superorganism, and one or two bad decisions at the very top can dictate the entire mood of everybody. I'm not sure about that aimed UC. I mean, we're all culpable. Does it matter that the Saudi Arabians... Okay, it does matter that Saudi Arabians, like, killed Khashoggi and they're cruel to their women, especially historically, and that they suppress their minorities and stuff. But every country in this chat has probably got problems in their own country, especially historically. And we're all in it together in terms of killing the planet and heating the planet up by running our cars. I mean, I drive a diesel car. I mean, we all know it's bad, but we do it anyway. And if you have electric car, your electricity's still probably made from a coal power station and mined from cobalt mines in China, but and stuff like that. And we're all in it together in terms of fucking up the planet. So you can tick that off. Every single country has demons and skeletons. You can tick that off. We've all done fucked up things. Nobody is like this pure utopia, like the myth of like the Western democracies are the good countries. It's like it's not technically always true. Probably not true on average, to be honest. It's like it's just we build up these nationalistic myths, and it's just not true most of the time. So the idea that like Saudi Arabia is a theocracy, and if they're funding boxing or F1 or football, it's a bad thing. Like, is it that bad? Like, yeah, it's bad that the Crown Prince told some people to kill a journalist and and stuff like that. And bad shit happens all the time. But look at the British Empire. Look at the American Empire, which I call it an empire because it fits the definition of empire. Like, look at the stuff that's gone on in the past, like the stuff the CIA was up to, and the Islamic world in Arabia. Like, a lot of these theocracies were set up by the Americans and the CIA because the whole world is a network of shit and corruption and bad behavior and evil, and no one's innocent of it. Like, we're all in this network of bullshit, and like we've all financing it, or you're kind of, if you're not speaking out against it, you're not, it's like we're all part of it. So if the Saudi Arabians wanted to buy Co3, I'd be fine with that. I would fucking wear a towel on my head, and I would be saying, thanks to His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh for funding this mega tournament. I'd go with it. That's fine. If they want to make two new factions, we have 5 factions. 3 new factions. We have 5 factions on each side, and we have 6 battle groups. And like, there's a balance patch every month, and there's like tournaments every 2 months, like massive tournaments. I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Screw it. Why not? Like, what's the problem? Does it matter? Dude, I'm... Are they that bad relative to the history of your own country and relative to some of the stuff your own country probably does right now? I don't even know where you're from, AIM, do you see? But, I mean, if you were to say where you're from, I guarantee your country's probably done some really bad shit. And, yeah, the Saudi Arabians are currently doing some bad shit and have done more recently, possibly. But, like, no one's, like, innocent in the world. Like, no one's nationality is, like, a pure... innocent national, except New Zealand. I mean, name what New Zealand's done wrong. If you're from New Zealand, I take it back. But maybe even the Kiwis have done something wrong. I don't know. Maybe they did something bad to the Maoris at some point, took all their land off them or something. I don't know. I've just done that. They chopped up the journalists. They've done loads of bad stuff, dude. They suppressed their women. They suppressed homosexuals. They are corrupt. They bribe their way to get in sports events. They are trying to steal the West's soft power. So as a Brit, that's really bad, because one of the things Britain does well is soft power, aka cultural power. They're trying to take Britain's cultural power, pay a lot of British artists and sports people and stuff, and they're taking away a lot of our strength in that sense. So... yeah, you don't have to be in a country to know of a country. That's it. the power of not being ignorant and actually reading is something that we can all do. You know what I mean? You don't have to be of a thing to understand a thing. I did hear the current stuff in South America is Britain never drew a line. Do you mean South America, dude? But yeah, no one's innocent on this world. It's a very simplistic view. In a bit, Smoker. Sorry, I was just on a rant. It kind of, yeah, I probably shouldn't go on rants too often. But it's fun. It's fun. Anyway, all I wanted to say was, would it be cool if we had billions of pounds put into CoH3? Alright, loading up game 3 now. No, I definitely don't do that. I'm not saying moralistically, you know, we all need to try our best to put pressure on your politicians to do the right thing and that kind of thing. I personally lead my life that way. I don't try and do bad to people. But yeah, I don't take simplistic views on the world, that's all I'm saying. We're very good at drawing lines, though, aren't we, 3rd Legion? The best lines we ever drew were the lines for Iraq. It's like, beautiful. Straight through Kurdistan. Boom. Great line. That's never going to cause a problem. Whoever the Brit that drew the line through Kurdistan is just like, fucking Nobel Peace Laureate. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. A lot of Kurds in this country, I always make that joke with them. They always laugh. It's quite funny. Okay, then. Let's cast some more CoH3, shall we? Alright, then. We've got... Havok on the left, which he isn't, so I need to flip the stats. Hang on. And it's 2-0 to F3riG. Lovely stuff. That's right. Well, it's one each, is it? No, it's 2-0 to F3riG. There you go. Does that explain it, Knorri? I thought it was going to be one each for so long, and then F3riG just kind of pulled it out of the bag at the last second. Pretty cool. Right then. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Hello there, and welcome to Havok, who is down on his fortune and needs to wreak some havoc in this game. He needs to get back into things. He himself is going airborne right now, which of course means he's going to be upgrading into Pathfinders. F3riG in the north, he's going for some airborne of his own. Falchion Pioneers dropping down on the +10 fuel. This is not early CoH3 as of March 2023. This is December the 24th, 2023. We've had 10 months of growth. Yet, because of Battle Group Terminator and a gentleman's agreement to not play armor as US, we are seeing the OG factions, those planes giving insta-paradrops from the sky above. A plane fight as 3rd Legion. Who is the best Legion, says in chat. Let's get some predictions in chat. Will Havok be able to get back into this series, or will the strength of F3riG reign supreme?
We have riflemen taking the field.
We're locked and loaded.
If you use the skipper heads in YouTube, I applaud you. I did go on a rant about wouldn't it be wonderful if rich Arabs funded CoH3 and put billions of pounds into investments into the game. It was a hypothetical only, but it made a moral objection in chat, so apologies for that. We're now back on with actually casting CoH3. We've got a flare come from the Pathfinders, leading the way, and unveiling that this heavy cover has been taken away from, and this heavy cover. A lot of barbed wiring has been coming down from the Falchion Pioneers, but there's more to join them. This time they're coming from the centre of the map, but they've already been forced off. Meanwhile, we do of course have the Kettenkrad, and then we're going to get the infantry company straight after. Havok himself is going for his 2nd rifle now. The first one has done some good work and is actually pushing even further ahead You're looking to even possibly take this plus 10 fuel away. Is that what he's doing?
We're up, boys.
That's really aggressive.
Say the word, sir.
Havok pushing through the centre. Pushing up with Pioneer support. Looking to possibly take this cut-off. MG's building next. Okay, so 2 Falchion Pioneers into MG for F3riG. F3riG just play this map very well, I hasten to add, but it is, of course, one of the stock maps for 1v1 players, but I do often see him do exceedingly well on this, and I'm always intrigued by how he plays it. There you go, there's the fuel's been neutralised, taken out of Hungarian hands. ISCG upgrade. ISG. ISC, the Infantry Support Centre. I don't know where I was getting the G from. Probably from Infantry Support Gun from OKW days. Now part of the DAC Army. Not that we'll see DAC today, unfortunately. Until we get the 2v2 games later on today, I'm looking forward to them. Bit of Scotch, one of the best 2v2 players of all times, playing later in a best of 3. Should be pretty exciting.
We've lost control of the sector.
Rifles have pushed up, and Pathfinders have done the same on the victory point there. This is a really good start. Grenade's was called out there. Must have been that he tried to go for a satchel, faked it, cancelled it basically. But it caused the rifles to leave the heavy cover. They nearly got suppressed. But, well, they do indeed end up getting suppressed, but it took a while. ISC's done. We've got Medical Station coming out for F3riG. Go, fair enough. Cut-off's been taken by the Falchion Pioneers. They're erecting their sandbag wall. And they get behind it, and this rifleman's going to drop like flies. They're really low. You didn't need to... Oh, F3riG, you could have stayed in that. They're held together with sellotape and plasticine. I think that was a TAC map retreat there. If he'd put attention to detail, I think he could have, you know, clipped a few models, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
Territory secure. No contact.
A victory point is under attack. We must act.
Ketcra just being a nuisance, as always.
Commander, it's time.
More
Get ready.
pressure being applied, and the captain's going to do the same with that LMG. You'd expect Havok to have the majority of the map so far, but the Ketcra's trying his best, but there's so many units on the field, and it's obviously a smaller map than what we had previously on Road to Tunis, so not quite as effective this time.
The sector's been overrun. It's theirs now.
Ooh, Pathfinder has to be careful. Oh, the Grens smell blood. No one on the retreat path, he'll be fine. MG42 has been stolen there. That's a big steal for Havok. No doubt with a bet we'll see that... yes, indeed, there you go. Rifle grenade was used by the Pathfinder, taking out the MG, possibly from up the side there. That was unexpected for both the player and the caster. But nice pickup regardless for Havok. Tell you what, Havok could be getting back into this series now. He's lost both games on Road to Tunis, but stealing the MG in the early game is always an uphill struggle for Wehrmacht. Back in the Co-1 days, if you retreated an MG, of course, it couldn't be picked up, which helped the Wehrmacht a lot. In Co-3, you're relying on that plus 25, minus 25% damage reduction on retreat. Troops dropping here, the airborne. Havok saw... oh, look at that lovely rainbow.
Ground infantry.
Wow! That's beautiful.
Enemy fire. We're up, boys.
Where did that come from?
Airborne. What do you got? Guess they had their breakfast.
Rifles pushing in as the Pride troopers make their presence felt.
Return fire! MG, waiting on you.
I don't think rainbows always necessarily denote LGBTQI+. They can also denote the diffraction of light through an aqueous medium in the air, which is sometimes known as a rainbow. Just a top trivia for you there. I was trying to sound scientific, 3rd Legion, Best Legion. Don't get the dictionary out on any of the big words I used. I probably used them incorrectly, which is known as a pro-malism.
We've lost the territory sector. Incoming!
Is Havok going directly to Tank Depot? White Duck asks. Well, yes, he bloody is. That's a good shout from White Duck, now known as the co-caster for the stream. Good spot there, son. And yes, he is. That's a bloody big rush, isn't it? Tank Depot coming out for Havok. Wow. How much fuel's he had? He's got 59 and counting. Bloody hell, that's a big push, isn't it? A lot of pressure's been applied. He's kept this fuel for the majority of the game, and Havok's looking to wreak some havoc in this game and, you know, throw some chaos into the engine. F3riG, who's shown himself to be arguably the more refined player, well, Havok's taken a hammer to the situation and smashed the glass. And that's going to give him a good in on this one. Been very aggressive in this Twin Beaches engagement, and he's had the majority of the fuel. He's pushed straight for Tank Depot, which is completing around about now. He's 83 fuel, or 84 fuel by the time it completes. I mean, he's very close to getting the 90 fuel Sherman. MG could be decrewed. No, he packs up and gets out of there. Meanwhile, airborne. Throw a cup grenade, but easily dodged by F3riG. Good reactions there, good speed. Rifle nade, again dodged by F3riG. He's sped them from a blind angle. Needs the manpower, Havok does. He's got the fuel now. Maybe go for a bulldozer Sherman, who knows?
Someone get us out of here! Sherman fighters!
He ain't a drop. I think it's strafe, actually, but he ported like the Red Sea did Havok. Well dodged on that strafe. And he's going to get the fuel back. Meanwhile, he's neutralised the fuel over here as the captain. Rifles are keeping 2 units occupied while within the garrison, and then they're going to play noisy neighbours. Keep the music down. This captain hates boats. He really does. He's used the mortar to destroy them there. Alright, surely it's going to be the bulldozer. He's rushed all the way for the bulldozer. You'll notice he turned off auto-reinforce in base in order to get the manpower he needed. Wow, bulldozer as a rush from Havok. Nice play. By the way, the victory points are the wrong way around, which means I can use my new technology of flipping them round there, but I need to figure out how to flip the colours. But yeah, the victory points are on the right sides there at least. There we go. Whatever relic do, I can fix it just about.
Get down!
Well, Aziligath, one thing you'll pick up is how narrow this map is, and how with a spread of aggressive infantry play, you can keep the Kettenkrad from being so dominant as it was on Road to Tunis. And it's one thing that White Flash Reborn found when he was trying to make Crossroads for Co3, is the size of the map directly contributes to the power of the light vehicles. So it's really difficult to get the balance 100% right. By the way, we've got a recon loiter on base here, so he can see everything. Let's quote Toy Story. And here comes the bulldozer Sherman. That's going to force these Jaegers off. They're trying to pretend they've got a Shrek cooking. Game over, man. He's just going to have to go after target after target. Yeah, second Fallschirmjäger is going to look like a mistake. I would agree with that as Illigath. It's going to definitely look like one when he should be getting LG40s out against this. A lot of the infantry has been in base, but it's popping out right now. And, I mean, one thing Wehrmacht could have done differently here is notice that there was no bars on any of the infantry, meaning, like, what is coming out? What's happening with all this fuel control? And we are starting to see a little bit of that Co-1-esque stalling in Co-3, and you have to kind of have a sixth sense for it. You have to have a feel for if your opponent is doing something like this, going for something surprising. Fallschirmjägers versus rifles. It'd be good if the bulldozer was up here. There's a lot of expensive targets. You're going for a... He's actually teched for Panzer Grenadier Company. Bloody hell, yes. Captain deploys his mortar. Ah, exactly, Smoko. Smoko, by the way, is the reigning tag team champion, him and Zulu. They'll be competing against the contenders that emerge from today's best of 3 2v2. That'll be later. I would like to see hold fire on this 105 from Havok. I've noticed that Havok's a very decent player, but he does miss some of the tips and tricks from the kind of elite Co2 era Master League players. But he's one of the best players we've got, quite frankly. But there's certainly some honing to his game, and there's certainly some ways he can improve. And hold fire attack grounds with his best AoE unit would be one of them, in my opinion. I'm sure some of the top players in chat would agree. Oh, there's a good kill from the airborne. I disagree, Nubius Nath. It was very bold to go bulldozer first in when he's 2-0 down. In you know, best of 5, I think it's very bold. You can't take it away from him, mate. Doesn't get more bulldozer than that. Good joke there, Cop Top. The bulldozer. Oh, there's the fucking bulldozer there. There's bits of balls of people all over the place. Captain's waiting from behind heavy cover. Fallschirmjägers are getting those Fallschirmjäger Gewehrs firing, but the rifles sprint up to them. Force them out of heavy cover, surprisingly. Grenade toss. Easy dodge. No health damage incurred from the grenade, actually, there. So much map control from Havok. He's still on 449 victory points. Right, Nubius Nath has not just... He hasn't backtracked from his point because people don't like to be wrong. So he's tried to politically accept that he was wrong without sounding wrong. Good on you, Nubius Nath. I like your style.
Engineers here, sir. Coming through that the enemy is down to 200 points.
It's a good question, FNB. I think it's an underutilized aspect of the game. Just basically that it's an underutilized aspect, and you're right to say it's underutilized. You do have to upgrade it, which costs fuel from the training center. It costs 15 fuel. It's not very much, is it, really? So, yeah, it's just underutilized. No other excuse. Yeah, I know. The English, including myself, are very slimy at their kind of rhetorical retorts, aren't we? We're very good at it. Why our politicians are so annoying. It's impossible to be wrong when you're a politician.
Damn it! Territory sector claimed by the enemy.
Yeah, exactly, as Illigath. But when you've got so much of an advantage over the map, 1 or 2 demos was surely a very good surprise tactic.
Found the enemy line!
Surely. Where's the bulldozer at? Come on, he needs to get some more kills. How many does he have exactly? 5. Not the best return on investment so far for the Elite Killer app unit. Oh, that'll do! Ho, ho, ho!
One of our strategic points is under attack.
GG! There we go. We've got a series on our hands. Havok straight back into this one. Nice work. I don't know why I played the Master League thingy. I just wanted to... I just missed the hype of the Master League, basically. So, the scores. Is this the right replay? Yeah. The UI in Co3 makes little to no sense at the best of times. But let me get everything set up here. So, I've got Havok on the right. Let's change that. Victory points, I'm going to take them off because I'm hoping they're right now. Yeah, that should do the job. It's 2-1 to the player on the left. Yeah, that's all set up. Good stuff. Gosling Gamer says, "Are mines still a big deal in Co3?" Yes. Lee Haver's completely wrong. Mines are a huge deal in Co3. They're as powerful as they've ever been. Possibly not quite as powerful as Talamines for the light tank meta from Co2. Possibly not as suppressive as the Co1 mines on a flank. But in general, they do the job they've always done. And now there's stuff like Coastal Battle Group, which will lower the cost of your mines in the late game. So yeah, mines are a massive part of the game still. And also you've got Kettenkrad mines to watch out for also. Alright guys, I'm just going to have a quick drink, a bite to eat. I'll be back in 1 second. Hang on. Lovely stuff. Okay. Oh, do you believe so, Leonie Wallen? I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Do try and... I'm a genuine enjoyer of both top-level play in Common Heroes and of Second World War history. So, yeah, it's, always try and do the commentary I hope people like to hear. Anyway. 3, 2, 1... And we're back in it. Here we go. We've got F3riG, who is only 2-1 up now. At one point, he was looking likely to just close this series out and start preparing to face Orangepest in January. But he's a weasel by name, and a weasel by nature is Havok. And just when you think he's done for, he'll keep fighting, and in the case of Twin Beaches, he'll take it straight to F3riG in the early game, and not relent until he has his victory. 105 Howitzer helped him on his way. It's his turn to play Luftwaffe, it would seem. Both players seeming to think Luftwaffe is the way to go. By the way, communication cables upgrading for the Kettenkrad there. Not a bad idea. And we've got a fighting nest building. Is that right? Fighting nest? Yes, we have indeed got a fighting nest building on the +10 fuel in the north
We
there.
have vehicles ready to be dispatched to the front.
Falchion Pioneers helping with that.
Riflemen are ready.
M29.
Oh, the political rants are a bonus. I like to see what people think about things in life, and you know, I love the sound of my own voice. That's why you're all trapped listening to it.
M29.
What do you guys tend to do with your weasels? They have, of course, you can get the 30 cal on them, but I like to deploy heavy machine guns. They got the mortar, and if you can get the signal layer or the medical station with them as well, which makes them pretty spicy. A lot you can do with a weasel. C-Trix is like, I don't know. Fair enough. I think this weasel is not the best hunter of the Kettenkrad because it's just too bloody fast, but it might have a go at it. We'll see. MG42 next for Havok.
Territory out of
Who's,
supply.
I don't know what's happened to his manpower economy, but... Okay, we're only 2 minutes in. Maybe my time dilation's happening here, because I've been casting... It's my 4th game now. But yeah, that makes sense. His build order makes sense right now. We've got 2 rifles and a weasel, and he has gotten the upgrade. There we go. That little 30 cal on the top, and he wants to be pointed at the enemy. This little cuboid does. Fording a bit of the sea there, getting into the capping circle. So for those that don't remember this battle group, it's Special Operations Battle Group. He's gone Weasel left side. He's got Mark Vehicle as a possibility later. And of course the Whiz Bang. Or you could go for the SSF Commandos. Assault Operation is pretty spicy, but most people go for Air Resupply Operation. And for those that don't remember how Luftwaffe works, I mean, I'm pretty sure you should do. There might be some new people in there. We've gone for Luftwaffe Pioneer support so far. And then mostly after that, people tend to go left side to get the Fallschirmjägers out.
Taking damage.
MG42 suppresses the rifles. They neutralise the cutoff regardless. Kubelwagen pushes up. And we've got an interesting battle here. Fallschirm Pioneers try to take the enemy cutoff, but aren't able to do so.
Keep your distance. Oi! We're dropping like flies here.
Stuka aircraft ready to strike our enemies.
Rifles putting a lot of damage in and able to win out. 2 rifles. Best large part of the Wehrmacht army there. I tell you what, that's a good start for F3riG, who's now going for Infantry Support Centre. And this cutoff's going to get taken next. 221 is coming out of the Luftwaffe company, but it's going to have a lot of work to do. This fighting position, of course, can be taken by the enemy. Look at this. Kettenkrad is so behind enemy lines. The Weasel wants to find him. The scouts see him. The Weasel does find him in the end, but he's just not fast enough. MG and Falchion Pioneers got a lot of work to do. They need to start capping their own territories because he was only left with his home territory points for a while there as +10s in the north. Ooh, Kubog has been found out by rifles. He's going to have to back up behind the extra beach on Twin Beaches, which I like to call the Sharpened Sea because the sea looks very sharp with the graphical settings of this map. Oh, we had a mine planted on the +10 fuel there, and the Kettenkrad's still somehow surviving. He can't face his 30 cal, and the Kettenkrad somehow got away with that. What a gangster. I love to see it. Awesome stuff. Too fast, too furious. Alright, Fallschirmjägers have been selected in the battle group next for Havok. Just awesome micro there with the Kettenkrad. Audacious play.
We've captured the territory, Commandant. What now? Fixed. Now get back into the fight.
Right, get back into the fight. I mean, he said fixed, but I swear he's still got a little bit of health to go. Strange. Are they Fallschirms? Yes, they are. No, do you see that? It says Allschirmjäger. They're all Schirm. Havok's beginning to push back into things now. He throws the satchel onto the captain. A little bit of AoE damage, kind of, from what it seemed. 2-1's going to give chase. And unable to finish the job. We do have an M1AT gun out. We've also got a mortar. Oh, okay, Armand. I thought so, but I was just trying to be funny. I'm sorry if that offended you. Fair enough, I understand. Right. Kettenkrad's behind the lines. MG's getting pushed away. But he's taking some of his territories back, it has to be said. And I think the Kettenkrad surviving is a bigger deal than than you might think. Because if it wasn't for the Kettenkrad surviving, you know, some of these territory sectors that are all important in Co3, because of course, you know, the territory systems, as it always should have been, the Co2 territory system was absolute garbage. It really is important to be able to keep these light vehicles alive and get around the side and cap your +10s. MG forced off by a mixture of mortar fire and M1 Garand fire there. Everything's an M1 currently. Oh, big hit on the side armor there of the 221, but it's able to go down the ramp and escape with its life intact. Fallschirmjägers retreating. Couldn't do that in Crete unless they could swim 60 or so miles. Could be Citrix. It could be. I mean, I did get 5 replays, but I did ask for dummy replays, so I don't truly know what happens here. I just know it was a good series, they both said. Armoured skirts. Top gunner on the Greyhound. Let's see what he can do. 221, its natural hunting prey, is currently doing donuts and pushing away the scout squads. Got sneaky Kettenkrad ready to scout in the north, near the Sharpened Sea. Bars have been upgraded. Wonder if we've got munitions surplus as well. nothing yet.
Christ, don't they ever run out of ammo? Clearing out of here.
Look at that mortar. He must have gotten quite a few kills with the mortar so far. He's done a lot of work with it. Greyhound's found the 221. Do we have the Panzer Booster? Yes, we do. It's now upgrading for 50 munitions. Kubelwagen goes down south, and that's what I was on about. If this wasn't alive, this wouldn't be being capped right now. And here comes Havok Bo5, and he's very pleased to see you. The reason you can't hear it is there's a bug in the game. You have to have the player selected in order to hear the kind of engine noises. Because the fog of war still exists for audio. Oh no, the Kubelwagen's been found out yet again. No grenade detect, Greyhound misses, and a narrow escape once more. In fact, he's able to do a 360 no-scope. Mum, get the camera. That's going on the YouTube montage circa 2008.
Engaged by ground targets. Infantry trying to close the gap.
Yes, it is definitely a deliberate taunt. This could be a very deliberate killing of the rifles, but the M1AT gun does get a side shot in. He's got to be a little bit careful. There could be a Chaffee on the way, but he doesn't. Well, there isn't, but he doesn't know that. Can he get the killing blow? We've also had, by the way, a strafe come down here. Let's see if he doesn't kill the rifleman. Strafe doesn't kill the AT gun either. Oh, the Greyhound pokes his head in. Gets a shot away. Panzer Booster's upgraded now. Do we have possibly nades teching for the rifles? No, he's just going for his second pair of bars at the moment. Well, second bar in the pair.
We're taking hits here.
HQ shall be receiving medics to heal our wounded.
Havok's fighting back, and I like to see it. He's 2-1 down. But he's got the second verbal wind. His Flakbruder. Star Wars? Bloody hell. He's got the accuracy of
Upgrade complete.
Han Solo, not a bloody stormtrooper, that's for certain. Every shot was on target. Merging into the MG there to keep it active. Chaffee now building in the motor pool. The Weasel's not been as prominent as I would like, but I think he must have given the support weapon here or something.
Territory is ours. What now?
Yeah, must have done.
We have the upper hand. Keep pushing.
Chaffee on its way.
Commander, we've lost a sector.
Victory point wise, I'm going to hazard a guess that F3riG's had the better of the victory points at this point in time. I'm trying to figure out if the victory points are bugged in this game, but they're currently neutral, so we can't see any tick down for either player.
Chaffee light tank is accounted for.
The Chaffee's... Well, I'm going to go back to the Wehrmacht's position because I hate the US announcer. It sounds like a... Sounds like... Cartoon cowboy. He's not going far. He's a cartoon cowboy. It sounds better now they added audio static. Before he was like, gee willikers, and now he's like... He's basically been gagged, which is good. But people say that some Americans did sound like that in this era of time, but I don't want to know. I don't care. No, Citrix, he's not just from Texas.
Fixed. Now get back in the fight.
It's him versus the OKW announcer from Co2 as the worst announcers in Company Heroes history. This is the Relic Observer mode. It's not Observer mode, it's Replay mode. Hopefully they add Observer functionality. That's right, Nubius Nath, yeah. He's teaching people at White Castle how to make fast food or something. That's 3 verbal Vins, bloody hell. What is the play here? It's more like a verbal storm than a verbal wind. Right then. Let's get an idea of Blue's position and see if we can spot an opening here. You've got 2 bullet verbal vins. Ah, they're currently targeting this way, going into the centre. Interestingly, you can see the movement orders of units on the TAC map, which is pretty cool. Blue is very much in the centre here. Fallschirmjägers have pushed in, but they're up against a lot of fire there. They need to be a bit careful. He's trying to get a bundle made off, most likely. The Elephants are really starting to push in. Now here they come. We've got a rifle in the garrison. He's going to have a tough retreat path. Panzerbusker. He's backing up here. He doesn't fancy it for now, but he's got the initiative. Why not? Maybe he needs infantry support, and with his Fallschirmjäger retreating to base and his MG, it's currently... Is he? Oh, he's there. For some reason it wouldn't let me show that on the screen. Greyhound getting some good attritional shots in on the Grenadiers. They're not even capping, so they probably should retreat. Meanwhile, Panzerbusker's forced off by the Chaffee in the M1. Looking for the kill here. Chaffee smells blood. Maybe he could unlock war speed and get in there. Who knows? Verbal Vind armies back and ready for some action. It's coming in from all angles. The M1 AT gun's going to get surrounded and overwhelmed, it would seem. Chaffee's backing up, but it's being targeted as well. The infantry sport is not able to keep up with the flak panzers. But here comes a strafe. The angle is this one. What damage can it do? Well, the M1 AT gun's already down, so the damage has already been done. Captain's going to recrew, though, it would seem. Verbal-Vind's going to target that now. Chaffee doing some great work. May be able to finish off the Verbal-Vind now. AT gun tracking, but he's outside the arc of its fire. He's going to pursue it now. We do have a Faust possibly for the Fallschirmjäger, but there's not much else stopping the motor pool duo from getting the kills on Havok. It looks like a 3-1 victory for F3riG now. I would suspect. I can't see much way back.
Enemy infantry spotted us!
He needed infantry support with that. He wasn't patient enough, in my opinion. I think he pulled the trigger when he didn't fully have everything ready to go in there. And the Chaffee basically retreating and getting all those shots off did so much work. I'm surprised only Veterancy won. I mean, he's still got 1 Verbal Vind left. And let's remind ourselves of the cost of a Verbal Vind. It's 50 fuel. So he's just lost 100 fuel and 600 manpower, so it is a lot, to be fair. Losing 2 Verbal Vinds like that. He's now going to back to... Well, he's going to get the flak out. He's still doing the capping with the Kubel. Glory Ketten. You see how quick he was to do that shift command then? He's currently got a shift... Sorry, he did shift command up there. He's just changed his mind. He's now planting a mine. In the north, Fallschirmjäger's getting forced off. He's got to rebuild his stocks and provisions, hasn't he? He's currently low on population cap. He's 46 against 66. Drink some of this coffee. Okay. What else can we see going on? Not much, because basically Havok's been pushed back. He's not got enough to push with. F3riG's just capping up the map, taking good, solid, heavy cover positions, and bringing up his support weapons. Maybe planting some mines as well. He probably should shift from there. Maybe he did. Oh, he sighted his main gun with his Marder. He's had permission from his commander. Let's go. Fallschirmjägers forcing off the captain. Hey, he's going for more Verbal Vinds. Are you sure? Oh dear. Yeah. The announcer started talking about it before they were dead. He's now got 1 Grenadier squad. I think Havok's lost the war here. Das Krieg ist verloren. Greyhound could finish this off. Well, he missed, but he could.
We have lost the Kettengun scout.
Well, M1's gone down. He's still battling. Somehow the Verbalvin survived, by the way. There is a Hellcat on its way. Let's not count out the old dog quite yet. He's still going for this. M1's been decrewed. Can he get some kind of miraculous comeback victory? He's got a damaged engine on the Shafi.
Pioneers standing by.
Pioneers have been rebuilt because they're dead. Grenadiers somehow survived. Hellcat's on its way. If you can see on the minimap, there's the former crew members of the M1 are still running away. Finally exited the map proper. Underneath the mountain. Oh, there's a big comeback victory there for the Verbalvin. Havok doesn't know he's lost yet. He's still battling. I love his fighting spirit here. Great things can happen when you don't give up sometimes. Or maybe you'll be forced to. Can this Hellcat get in there? One big shot says yes. Oh, but the phosphorus bullets fly in. Oh, they've stopped. Another big shot coming in. Oh, dear. There we go. Meanwhile, rifles are still spotting. Looks like they got a stun shot off on the Verbalvin. And the Hellcat's having trouble navigating. Oh, but he finds the Marder. He's a target-rich environment. Gets the kill. And GG's. Well played. F3riG is the contender to fight against Orangepest in January in the Cash Game series in CoHstleMania. And if you're aware of how modern WWE works, that means he's won the Royal Rumble and he's currently pointing at a sign. Oh, he's going to WrestleMania. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So, that was to be expected, but I think Havok's a very popular player. And I feel he has the killer instincts. He has a really good feel for the game. And he's a very, he's a good streamer and a very good player. But he's got some work to do. I think Havok has flaws in his game, and there's some tricks of the trade he doesn't utilize. And if he starts hardcore scrimming some of the top level players off his stream and like taking the mechanics seriously, okay, there's a couple of things he's not doing from a micro position. For example, he's not hitting halt on vehicles sometimes in time. I'm pretty sure that's still a thing, although I know it's not as big of a thing in Co3. There was another one we picked up on today. He wasn't hold fire attack grounding with his bulldozer Sherman, which was making it much more inefficient. And of course, he's Canadian, which is a big debuff. But no, yeah, he's a great player, a really good player, but I think he's got some work to do. What I really like about Havok is his killer instinct and ballsy playstyle. He will go for it if he sees an opening. His light vehicle play was excellent, really good micro of light vehicles. And of course, his infantry combat play could do with some improving. F3riG had better infantry combat. So the third thing I would say is F3riG's infantry combat prowess was markedly superior in that he was taking heavy cover positions in better time and like at the right time, and the flow of his engagement choice was better. It's like a game feel thing that you notice the best players do really, 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 really well. And in order to quantify it and qualify it, you need to go into a replay and slow down the footage, basically. It's not very easy to hypecast, but it's something I have a feel for when I'm watching top-level players. And I really started to notice it around the time of 2018 with players like Von Asten, in particular. He just had like a different feel for the flow of his infantry combat, and more like 2 times out of 3 he would emerge victorious in a gun battle scenario. And it was like I noticed that was his difference. Prior to that, I thought it was all about like micro and flanking and getting your grenades off at the right time. But Von Asten was able to win just with positioning and timing of that positioning in the infantry battle. So F3riG's definitely really good at that. And Havok isn't elite level at that. He's good, but he's not elite level. So I think he's got work to do with regards to patience and like that choice of positioning of infantry, the heavy cover of the scenario for the gun battle. He just needs to get a slightly better feel, and only with mechanically breaking down his play and his selection of the gun battles that he takes and the gun battles he gives up on will he get better at that, I would hazard a guess. Now, don't forget, I'm not speaking as a player. I'm a terrible player. I'm speaking as a caster and somebody that's been watching the best players play for the last 10 years or so. It's just what I've noticed. So, yeah, there's just some tips and tricks he could do there differently. And the patience and gun battle selection he could definitely pick up from guys like F3riG. But Orangepest is gotten so much better at that in the last 2 years. Like, Orangepest was always good, but Orangepest has developed his game so much in the last 18 months that I really feel kind of a little bit like these contender battles are going to end up being more exciting than the championship battles, because he's like a good amount difference. We really need Ray, or formerly known as Asherblaw, to come back into Co3, because I think Ray or Asherblaw could give Orangepest a good game. F3riG can give Orangepest a good game. Kowzak is alright. Alpern's alright, but I don't think enough of these players are willing to admit they're not perfect at the game and willing to break down their core mechanics and tactical gun battle selections and like think, I did A, B, and C. Should I have done X, Y, and Z differently? Like, you know, this replay analysis kind of thing. And that's, of course, what all the best players have done. Lovenest, Isolde, Orangepest, DevM, all the best players of all time knew they weren't perfect and continued to develop themselves even when they got to top 1 in Automatch. Like, top 1 in Automatch wasn't their ceiling. They went further. They kept eking out improvements. And sometimes they stagnated and regressed. I mean, like, DevM had a few peaks. DevM had his youth peak when he was a Co-1 player. And then he came back into Co2. He had, you know, the Co2 field was shit. But then he stagnated quite badly, actually. Between 2015 and 17, he actually regressed quite bad. And then he had to admit that the competition had improved. And then he had to develop his mindset and his skill base again in order to be, 3 times world champion. He was only a 1 times world champion. Sorry, 2 times world champion because he won SNF4, best Co-1 tournament ever. He won OCF, which was the biggest Co-2 tournament up until 2017. Not as big as GCS1. I think GCS1 was slightly bigger. Or they were equal in size, something like that. So, yeah. And then Lovenest had improved so much, and a few of the other guys had improved so much during ESL, Nagano as well, that DevM had to get his mojo back. A lot of players have gone in ups and downs, which has been interesting. So no one's the finished article, for certain. But Havok's, like, we haven't seen the final Havok form. I think Havok's an exciting player, and I just hope that he's going to improve himself, because we need more top-level players. Right now, we don't have enough for a tournament, in my opinion. Like, the reason that Master League season was good is because we had the multiple tiers. But if the Master League season had been the traditional Master League, where we were just doing single elimination tournaments, I'm not sure we would have finished the format, because I don't know. Just told F3riG to wait until he beats Orangepest to avoid double transfer fees. Oh. Oh, I've spelt Naidi's name wrong. Yeah, we're doing that in a bit, Farley. I'm just going to have a break for a bit now. Yeah, we're going to have a little break now, guys. We'll be back with the 2v2 cast soon. The reason I'm having a break is because I'm going to put the washing on the line, which is exciting. So hype for the washing going out. Well, not the... Yeah, it's a line, I guess. I'm going to put it on the radiators and an indoor clothesline. Hype, let's go. Here we go. And then we're going to be back for the Co2 cast. Let's give it 20 minutes. Alright, dudes, back in a sec.